So, yes, I saw Halloween Ends. Everybody was hating on Kills, right? I didn't have, Kills was fine. If they wanted to make Kills the end of the franchise, I wouldn't have mind. If they wanted to make Halloween 2018 the end, I wouldn't have mind. But no, they wanted to keep making sequels, right? Cool. So the movie's out. I went to see it. I was digging it. Okay, so non spoilers. The tension's there. The atmosphere is somewhat there. Not as good as Halloween 2018 or Kills, but there is some suspense, and that's probably the most optimistic way I can look at this movie. There is suspense, and things happen that you don't think would happen, and so there's like some twists and turns in there. It's not your normal formulaic Halloween movie. You can't. I was guessing like, oh, okay, maybe this would happen and this would happen without getting into it. Do I put this into my top 3 or 4 or 5 Halloween movies? I wouldn't, and I will get into that later in the spoilers. So if you're just wanting to see a Michael Myers movie, and you got nothing to see in the theaters, or just you can watch it on Peacock. It's fine. As a finale to this franchise, this whole universe with Jamie Lee Curtis, I think it could have been handled a lot better. Story points, they choose to focus on certain characters over other characters, and I just think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. We've known David Gordon Green has said numerous times he was changing the ending up until a few months ago. Apparently, they couldn't decide which ending to go with. Just knowing there's alternate endings, and they weren't dead set on a story. They didn't know what they were doing, and they kind of went into it like a treasure trove or a toolbox, and it's just throwing shit at the wall. Oh, maybe that might work. Okay, well, let's see how that tests, and then maybe we'll change it again. So I think they should have known where they were going with this trilogy when they started with Halloween 2018. I think they should have known how they wanted to end things. And the fact that they had to keep going back and forth on the end of the movie, it was kind of upsetting to hear. It's kind of like the Star Wars type of thing. We wanted them to have episodes 7, 8, 9 already planned out, have a story set. But no, they didn't. They didn't know the story they wanted to tell. And that's very obvious in this movie. Okay, so that's like the non-spoiler. I'll give this movie, I get like a 7.5 out of 10. It's a well-made movie. From a technical aspect, the cinematography is fine. The ambience is there. Ambiance is there. From a technical aspect, this is a well put together film. All my issues are stemming from the story, and I was pretty much down with the story. So let's get into the spoiler element. I'm going to be talking about the Corey character, quasi new Michael Myers prototype, right? They wanted to do this. They're always trying to steal. They're always trying to pull from these movies, Curse with Thorn, Halloween 4. They want to take these elements, the Curse of Thorn, and they want to try to squeeze it into this movie. And they chose to ignore all those sequels. That's fine. But when you try to take those elements and put them into Halloween Ends, it's just out of nowhere. There's no kind of build-up. There's nothing to go off of besides what they've presented. And Corey, as a character, is just now coming into the fold in the last movie. And they chose to focus the whole movie on Corey, which I was down with it. I was down with it up until, spoilers, dude just fucking stabs himself in the neck, and then Michael finishes off with a neck snap. It's like, you're gonna commit to this Michael transferring his evil kind of a story. Commit to it. Just commit to it. He should have overpowered Michael, put on the mask, killed Laurie, and then a new franchise would start or whatever. New Michael goes off into the darkness or whatever. But they didn't want to go that route. They emasculated Michael, They made him hide out in the sewers, which is fine. I didn't have a problem with that part of the movie, right? And I like the fact that they kind of had like this Scream kind of a vibe where Allison is going out with Corey, and she doesn't know that he's killing all these people, and then he's best friends with Michael now. That part of the story was cool because like as soon as she finds out that he's best friends with Michael, she's not gonna trust him, right? So that part of the movie was fine, like him getting bullied, him being like the final boy, the babysitter, or finally getting like a male babysitter. Like all those elements were sick, right? My gripe with the movie is they just didn't commit. They didn't commit to the story. They didn't want to make him the actual killer going forward. You know, you've seen this, right? If you're watching the spoiler review, Michael overpowers him, and my favorite shot of the movie was Michael stabbing that fool in the sewer, and he was jolting up, right? Ah! Like he took some pre-workout. And that was like the best kind of part of the movie because it shows like he was getting more powerful, right? Killing like victims, him getting fed victims was making him more powerful. But then people are bringing up the fact that it's interesting because people are saying, well, at the end of Halloween Kills, he kills all those people and he wasn't as powerful. It's like, that's true. So then again, like they didn't know where to go with this story. They chose to do the 4 years later type of thing. Pandemic happened, of course, so they probably wanted to get some space in between Kills and this new movie. It's just for the end of the franchise, they wanted to do it this different. Yeah, they had the intro scene was the same font as Halloween 3. Okay, cool, bro. But what does that do for this movie? What does it do? There's nothing from Halloween 3 in this movie, minus the font. There's nothing, the Shamrock masks, none of that stuff was in this movie. Y'all bashed on the Curse of Thorn story, Halloween 6, and they're stealing that whole storyline for this movie. Michael's evil is transferring into another person. We've seen that Halloween 4 at the end of the movie. She's back in the clown outfit. She's got the power now. She killed her fucking stepmom or whatever. Like these are common themes in the Halloween franchise, but they lead up to that. Whether you like the Man in Black or whatever from Halloween 5, that's a whole nother. That's the whole thing. That's the whole argument. I liked it because it goes back Halloween 6. It brings back fucking homeboy from Halloween 1, Loomis's buddy at the hospital. He was there the whole time, so it makes perfect sense. It's like little threads being placed in every movie, and then Halloween 6 actually made sense why that was happening. Michael was there the whole time. Under Michael, like, you've seen Halloween 6. Do you like the theatrical version or the producer's cut? Let me know, kind of off topic. But yes, so, Halloween Ends, it was fine. I give it like a 7.5, I think, or something. It was a good movie. It was fine. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't. I would still personally watch Resurrection because Busta Rhymes is iconic. And it just it depends on what you want out of Halloween. If you're a Jamie Lee Curtis fan, you might be super into this trilogy. I am not. The first Halloween movie I saw was the first one, and then I saw part 4. So I preferred 4 and 5 have the best fall, like autumn kind of Halloween vibe. They set the tone the best. Nothing has come close to those movies. Yeah, you can talk shit about the masks all you want, but the stories were sick. The stories hold up. Now the execution, on the other hand, and it's kind of the opposite with this new franchise. It's beautifully made. The movies are well made. It's just the storylines that they're choosing to do, and they're ignoring H2O and Resurrection in favor of these new movies. And there's a lot of people out there that liked H2O. And then Resurrection, people fell off of that. They didn't like it, which is fair. I that was the first commercial I remember seeing from Halloween on TV. Was Halloween Resurrection was coming out, and that shot where Michael's mask comes in the frame of the window, dude. I hated watching TV at night because the commercials. I knew like fuck, dude, the Halloween movie is gonna come on. And it's just and it's the fandom is always going to be split because there are multiple timelines um, in this universe. It's not like a Nightmare on Elm Street where every movie follows the previous, minus New Nightmare. And then so obviously you're gonna have your split fan bases. The people that like the first one only, the people that like Curse of Thorn, people that like all the movies, the people that like Rob Zombie's movies. This fandom is probably the most split up fandom in the horror realm. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's like the only franchise that can't get their storylines right. They're always retconning shit, minus fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They reboot every fucking movie, ignores the last one or whatever. But but there's like, it's not as a big deal for some reason when it comes to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe because those films are so far removed from each other. I don't know. There's something about Halloween, people get up in arms about the timelines and the continuity. And, oh, the true timeline is 1, 2, and H2O. And then, oh, the new timeline is fucking Halloween 1 through fucking 6. And then you got the Kevin Williamson fans like me, where H2O was written to include 1 through 6. And the Curse of Thorn, where Laurie finds out that her daughter was killed during a classroom presentation, and she has to face the trauma of her daughter that she gave up. Like, all that was in H2O. So in my head canon, if that's what you got to call it, like I watch 1 through Resurrection. I guess like one story, and I posted my ranking. Okay, so what did you guys think of Halloween Ends? There's not much I can say about it except for I really wish they just committed to the character of Corey. I know Dave McRae was saying his story could have been its own anthology movie. You didn't even need Michael Myers. He's absolutely correct on that. You don't need Michael Myers to tell Corey's story. Which is why they should have just killed Michael, have him transfer the powers to Corey, and then their next movie be fucking Corey as the killer. And you can do your anthology trilogy with Corey. Haddonfield, the movie Revenge of Corey or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, guys. What do you think of Halloween Ends? Comment below in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Let's have comment. Let's have a discussion. Don't troll me. Don't hate on me because I prefer the Curse of Thorn. I literally have it tattooed, bro. That was one of the most creative movies, in my opinion. They took it out of the box. They changed the formula. Whenever they change the formula, people freak the fuck out. It happened in Halloween 6, and it happened with Resurrection when they made it a reality series in Michael's house. That's ballsy, bro. And I'll give Halloween Ends its props. It was ballsy. It took chances. Did it hit? It hit hard sometimes, but when it comes to the finale, I don't think they could have landed it better, dude. I just maybe have a swap like the guy that they killed at the end in the grinder. You go in the grinder. Maybe that guy wasn't really Michael or something. I don't know. I was just expecting. We were all expecting something greater. This is Blumhouse we're talking about, right? So yes, what did you guys think of Halloween Ends?